Hello, everyone. Welcome back to the Waxing Table podcast. I'm Mikala, and I'm so glad that you're here with me today. We are going to dive in just straight to it. I want to talk to y'all about the reason behind my move and just kind of starting over in a new city. Okay. If you're watching this and you're thinking about starting over from scratch, this message and this podcast episode is for you. But before we dive in, make sure you are following the Waxing Table podcast on Apple, Spotify, and on YouTube. Make sure you like this video and subscribe to your girl so that you never miss a single episode. Okay, so let's just dive straight into this. So, the reason behind the move, to be honest, was a lot of factors. Okay, we were living in a small town, which was Lubbock, Texas, for 10 years. I moved straight out of high school, and me and my husband had our three kids there. We got married there, we established our lives, and he was working there, and I started my career there. So we had a really comfortable life for a long time. But eventually I really started to, we both honestly did, but I think really me more so, really me more so, I really started to feel a pull back home. There'd be so many different things that, I would feel like I'm kind of, just missing out on. Like my grandparents are getting older, extended family, uncles, and, my parents getting older. So it's like, um, I was missing family. And then also I had a really strong desire for my kids to grow up around, their cousins and their family and their grandparents just as much as I did. And so that was really one of the factors, and a few factors that went into that. Also, I started to feel very just challenged in a lot of ways. I'm truly a city girl at heart. Like, I don't know what you can expect. Like, I grew up in a big city, so I was used to the city life. And, being in a small town, you don't have a lot of access to just different things. I started to feel like, I really wanted to go to more networking events. I wanted to create a large, community of business, focused and minded people. I really just wanted to get around more resources. And, all of the big conferences like the skincare shows and everything were in Dallas and in bigger cities. And so I would always try to go to them, especially after having kids. It became a little bit more challenging because of how far away they were. So there were just a few things that I really felt kind of limited to. And then a little bit of the demographic was just different to from in Lubbock to being in a big city. So I was one of the only, brown skin black estheticians in my city at the time. And I was very proud of that. But I really just wanted something different. I wanted change. So all these little factors, y'all, like came to play into us moving. So, when we first sat down to start talking about this, we were really praying and asking God, but we also were just like being real with ourselves. Um, we had to just address the fears. So, I think some big fears of mine that really started to come up was like, what if we can't afford this new lifestyle that we're claiming that we want, or that I'm claiming that I'm saying that I want? What if we move out here and we flop. I flop. I move my business and it does not go well. It doesn't just take off, or it doesn't succeed. We can't afford the life out here just because like the city that we're in now, which is Lubbock, or that we were in, which is Lubbock, the cost of living, y'all, so low. Okay, like super low. But moving to DFW meant everything was like double. So all these fears that I, had to just address and really just ask myself. And so at the end of the day, it really had to come down to what it is that I wanted. I became so crystal clear on what it is that I was looking for in my business, in our finances, in our home life. And all these things started to really make a lot more sense. And it just clicked. And so that really was the green light for us. There was so much peace about the decision. There was so much assurance about the decision, and we went ahead and just was like, okay, it's time. It's time for us to move back home. So we did. Okay, now the logistics of moving back home, y'all, a headache, okay, especially when it came to my business. So I started my business in Lubbock, which meant all of my mail, all of the things that like I would receive for my business, the address that I had on was Lubbock address. So that means I had to change all of my addresses, forward our mail, make sure all of my paperwork was correct, and just y'all, it was a lot. Okay. It was a lot, and it still is a lot. Um, but that's just what comes with moving, it's just the process of what you go through. Um, I also, after I got the mail and everything, during this time, I hired a business coach. So she was really able to help me identify what it is that I was really wanting for my business. I did a whole like rebrand. We did this thing where like this exercise, where I'm leaving the old self in this, city, and I'm bringing a new self here in a bigger city. And I really embraced that. I got super clear on what it is that I was wanting, what it is that I, need from myself and what my business required. So I feel like once I did that, I felt so good moving. Like I was able to move, and we were able to move in such a peaceful mindset. Although things around us was chaotic, right? Moving, packing up the house, making sure the kids were okay. All the moving things were just surrounded by chaos. But my mindset truly I became so focused and excited. So I think that's a really key factor. Like if you are thinking of relocating and wanting to move, and it's for your business or it's for, whatever reason, I think you just have to be very clear and focused on what it is that you want and let yourself know that this is the option. Okay. So, so after, we made the move, I decided to hit the ground running and find a new suite. So I was determined, you guys, like truly determined to find a new suite within a certain time frame. I wanted to find it before the fall actually hit. So we moved in May, and I went on vacation. And then as soon as I got back at the end of May, toward like the beginning of June, I was just busting my butt. Okay. I was still with my business coach, so she was really helping me out. But I also was networking. I was, in Facebook groups and talking with people and just going around and seeing different spaces and working with the realtor and, just getting prices for stuff. I did like 2 pop-ups as well. And, this was just me testing the area until I found the perfect spot. So I was able to find the perfect spot, and I moved in officially September 1st of 2024. So this was what, just 3 months? June, July, August. Basically, I found the space in August, and I officially started, taking clients in September. But because I was so determined, you guys, and because I was like, this is my dream, I hit the ground running and I was successful, and I found a location. And it was a location that came unexpectedly. I thought that I was going to go with this other location because that's where I was doing my pop ups in. But the Lord said, no, I have something better. Okay. Found a place for very, very, it was just well underneath my budget. And I love it. It's beautiful and it's my space. So I was able to secure that. Um, and so when I was able to do that, of course, all the things that came with it, right? I had to have all of my paperwork again, applying for my mini salon license, making sure, my LLC is updated on my address, and all of the things, y'all, that go into it. Um, this is all the hard work that I had to put in and all the dedication that I'm doing. But at the end of the day, I executed, and I'm very proud of myself. A strategy to also me growing. And okay, so once I found this new space, I was officially able to start taking clients. But before then, I was still documenting like my journey online. I was showing up, almost every day on socials just to kind of take people along with the process. People became really invested in what I was doing. And I think that's a really key factor in when you're starting over from scratch, that you invite people along the ride, that, you let people know what you're doing. It gets people excited to, um, that you're taking them along with you. And once I was able to secure that spot, I got so much feedback and so much just excitement around what I was doing. And I was just like, yay, I'm like building a community. So it felt really good. Um, so in the midst of me showing up every day online, all these things, I changed, my handles a few times, or my like the name part and my handles on socials on Instagram, just to make sure, I was trying that I was, monetizing my way to the front. So if you search Dallas or if you search Arlington, I'm right in there. Okay, so building clientele, I think for me, I was hosting pop-ups during the summertime. So I was able to really gain a lot of exposure doing that. I was able to gain 2 new clients from doing that, and they have followed me from the pop-up, and now they're in my new space, which is in Arlington. Um, and I think if it wasn't for me doing those pop-ups, it could have taken me a little bit longer to get traction. So this is really how I, strategized and started. Um, this was all a part of my marketing plan, was to do the pop-ups. And so I think because I was able to do that, it really, helped me get my foot in the door where it needed to be. So, but it was definitely hard work, like hard work, hands down. So my strategy for building and attracting new clientele, like I said before, was showing up every single day online, networking and telling everyone that I'm new to the space. I'm new to DFW, and then I'm an esthetician, giving out my business cards, going to local coffee shops and local apartments, and just telling everybody, my friends, family, everything. So the more people, who you tell, the more people who's going to know. Okay, so when you are, getting and starting over from scratch, and what I did, I think it's so important to really build a support system. People who understands what you're going through, people who can really help and be there to encourage you and not discourage you. It's so important that you're selective on those people, because there are people who may have a vision of what they feel like you should be doing, and they could speak things into your life that can just really discourage you and really kind of doubt yourself. So get selective on the people that you choose to tell about your dream or choose to, invite in. But I definitely think it's important to have support system. Be around people who are like-minded and who can help elevate you and your mindset. And if you don't know those people, go find them. Intentionally go and look for networking events, and just pop in people's DMs online. And if you're like, okay, I like this person and what they talk about, give them a follow. But I definitely think it's important to build a community with like-minded individuals. There's just something about like you can relate to each other on a different level. If you have a business partner, they understand business things. So, yes, find that community, find that group. It's out there. They are out there waiting for you. You just really have to just be intentional and really put in the work to, to do so. And um even if it's your spouse, that's great. Even if it's one family member who you feel like can help just encourage you, or relate to you in some way. I just think there's power in community, definitely. I also, one person who's really big in supporting me and, helping me through my mindset is my business coach. She really has just been great for accountability and for just encouraging me and helping me see something in myself that I may not have seen before. Um, and so if you are looking for a mentor, definitely find one. If you haven't thought about having hiring a mentor, I definitely would encourage you to find one, someone who knows the beauty industry or someone who just knows the the specific industry or work that you're trying to do. Someone who you can trust, someone who you think is really aligned with who you are and your values. So it's going to make a really, really big difference in how, you can, transform your business and transform, your thinking. They're going to, a really good mentor really helps you focus in on your mindset and really getting clear about what you want and your desires and what your goals are. So get you a mentor for sure. Now, I've said that it's important to, network with people and, get a mentor. But I also think it's just important to just start building genuine relationships with people. Get yourself uncomfortable. If you see someone like walking down the street, compliment them on something. Maybe you like their hair, maybe you like their shoes. Just be nice. Though I made a lot of mistakes when I was younger or when I was, just in business years ago. And I really wouldn't just talk to people. And I'm still overcoming that because I'm truly an introvert. But I really just wouldn't talk to people like that. But truth be told, like, who's gonna reject a compliment, or who's gonna reject you saying hi to them? But if they do, they will remember that you said hi and you had a smile on your face. So I just think it's so important to build genuine relationships and just say, hey, how's your day? Or just start a conversation about, what they do. You just never know. You literally never know who you are meant to be aligned with and who you're meant to cross paths with if you just don't open your mouth and say something. So connect, connect, connect. So I will say that during this process of starting over in a new city. And although I grew up in DFW, you guys, I have family and everything like this. Not everyone is doing what I'm doing. So I do struggle with a little bit of isolation at points, just feeling like, man, I'm out here by myself and I am. Not everyone is building an esthetician business or, have super high goals like I do. And not to say that there's anything wrong with people and where they are. I just know that, for me, that can bring just a little bit of a lonely feeling. So in order to really manage the way that I feel and manage my isolation a little bit and feeling just lonely and like I'm just working all the time, I really try to make sure that I take time for myself. And what I usually do, it varies, but one thing I do is stretch. I love stretching because my body needs it, number one. But then also, like, I feel really, really good after I do so. I take a little bit of time in the morning before my kids wake up and I just pour into myself first. I spend time with God and I really just, set my intentions for the day. And also, um, I really try to get my nails done or get my hair done at least, once a month. I kind of alternate. But I do something to pour into myself and that really helps me feel really, really good. Okay, so, now that I am in a new space, which I found this space, like I said, within 3 months, and it's underneath my budget. And it's actually in an area that I said I did not want to be in, which is wild to me. But, Jesus had other plans. He knew it was just so divine. So, um, one thing that I, have taken away, I think, in this process of me just starting over from scratch and just beginning again is just to trust your instinct and trust the vision. Good things take time and good things that are worth it. It 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 takes an amount of resilience and passion So, I've grown and I've really realized that I love what I do and I wouldn't change this for the world. Like, I'm meant to own a business. I'm not meant to work for people. And that's going to come with a price. And so I just think that, you have to have a level of resiliency, a level of understanding, and a level of just falling in love with the journey and the process, because I don't know everything. I don't know everything all at once. I'm learning as I go, but I've just had to learn how to just not give up. A few things that I've also learned is that it is okay to stand out and set yourself apart from the crowd. Um, I built my business back home in Lubbock, and I believe that I really added something super special and super valuable to all of my clients, and that I was just able to build connections genuinely. And I really want to make sure that I keep that it doesn't, that's not something that goes away. So now that I'm here in a new city, I want to make sure that I keep that same mentality, but also know that I am going to get everything that my heart desires. And I just think it comes down to the mindset. I think it really comes down to like me telling myself what's going to happen before it happens. And I'm determined, you guys. Like, I'm so determined and I'm so excited and so like ready for that moment. Um so now that we're back, I'm very happy and I feel like there's a piece that's kind of like a piece of a weight a little bit that's kind of lifted off my shoulders a little bit. And it's crazy because like I was just talking with my husband. I was like, you know what? I'm so glad we moved. I'm so glad we moved because everything that we were looking for, that we were missing, that we were desiring, we have it and it's here. And it's something that is just so difficult to explain, but if you've gone through a moment where you've have been afraid to move, or like in the gut feeling of your heart that something is supposed to change, and when you make that change, there's no greater feeling, like, truly. So as I'm wrapping this up, you guys, and you're listening to this, if you have a dream and if you have a goal and you're thinking about starting over, I would encourage you to really get crystal clear on your goals and your vision. Why are you wanting to move? What is the missing piece? What will, this new move provide you? And then also just leap and go for it. Leap and go for it. Don't second guess yourself, because sometimes we can allow fear to stunt us from moving and doing the thing that we know that we're supposed to do. So get your vision clear, hire you a business coach, get around a supportive community, and have resilience. Don't let anyone stop you from doing what you have to do, because I promise you greater things on the other side. So I just wanted to share this with you guys. Just a little bit about, me starting over and some things that I have just had to go through. And how I think that mindset is just so important, and how my mindset has been able to just keep me going. So I appreciate every single one of you for listening, and I hope that you were able to find some value in this. If you like this episode, please comment below. And if this helped you at all, let me know how. What is something that you are battling with right now? And what is that voice telling you? Is there a voice inside of you that's saying you can't do it? Because I'm here to tell you that you can. So like, comment, share this with a friend, and I hope to see you in the next episode. All right, take care.